edition of the burning question ahead, Abhishek.
Well, thank you so much, Deepthi. You know, the other big story is a comment made by Mehbooba Mufti. He seems to be sympathizing with Kashmiri Pandit brothers and sisters. Or is she? In fact, she has made a statement that if Kashmiri Pandits are feeling unsafe, that is the Kashmiri Pandit employees, they better be sent out of the valley for some time. Is it that innocuous statement? Does she really mean what she has said in terms of well-being of Kashmiri Pandits? Or is it a twin-edged sword she has hurled at the J&K administration and Delhi perhaps? When was the last time Mehbooba Mufti, for example, said that for Kashmiri Pandits to be safe in the valley, Pakistan needs to stop supporting terrorism in Kashmir? Let's look at this report and come back to discuss.
Relocation. Kashmiri Pandits are protesting, seeking safety. They want protection against terror.
हम सड़कों पर बैठे हैं, हम यही उम्मीद लगा रहे हैं, हमें पूरा भरोसा है कि ये हमारी डिमांड्स को पूरा करेगी। हमें तब तक के लिए जम्मू आरसी दफ्तर में शिफ्ट किया जब तक वहां पे ग्राउंड जीरो पे सिक्योरिटी सुनिश्चित नहीं हो जाती कश्मीरी पंडितों के लिए।
Mehbooba Mufti's solution? To remove Kashmiri Pandits from the valley altogether.
कश्मीरी पंडितों ने बहुत सफ़र किया है और हाल ही में उनकी काफ़ी हलाकतें भी हुई हैं, तो इसको बड़ा गौर से देखने की ज़रूरत है और कुछ अरसे के लिए जो उनकी डिमांड है उसको मान लेना चाहिए, ताकि जब उनको इत्मीनान हो जाए कि कश्मीर में हालात सही हो गए हैं, वो वापस अपनी ड्यूटी पे जा सकते हैं, तो उनको तब ड्यूटी पे जाने के लिए कहना चाहिए। अभी इस तरह से मजबूर नहीं किया जाए।
With at least 4 hit lists of Kashmiri Pandits released so far, the need of the hour is a crackdown on terrorists. But Mehbooba Mufti wants second chances for terrorists.
मेरा ये है कि अगर इनको पता होता तो शायद इस तरह से मैं इस वक्त जब आपके हालात सुधर रहे हैं तो मैं समझती हूँ कि एक चांस हो सकता था।
The fact is, if Kashmiri Pandits are allowed to get a salary without work in Jammu, Mehbooba can use it to stoke anger against them, while removing them from Kashmir would be used by her to say that the abrogation of Article 370 failed. Tonight, Mehbooba must make her stand clear. Kashmiri Pandits or terrorists? Let's debate.
All right, it's clear it's a twin-edged sword, and Mehbooba, the canny politician that she is, understands how things might pan out if the Kashmiri Pandit employees of the Jammu and Kashmir government are moved out of Srinagar to Jammu, as some of them have been demanding. Joining me on this debate, GL Raina, former MLC and spokesperson, Jammu and Kashmir BJP. He would be live from Jammu. Joining in a bit, I am told, Lalit Ambardar, Kashmiri activist, live from Delhi. And also, I believe to defend Mehbooba Mufti, Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz, Secretary, Muslim Personal Law Board, and of course, also political analyst, live from Srinagar. But first up, Majid Hadri joining me, political analyst and journalist, live from Srinagar. Majid, what does she really mean? Is it really that innocent as she is making it sound, that, oh, Kashmiri Pandits are really unsafe if they are feeling so? Not that they are unsafe, but if they are feeling so, let them be in Jammu for a while. When things become normal, which they have not in the last 3 decades, they can come back. I don't think she is being as innocent as that.
Well, sir, the simple point is that let's not treat Kashmiri Pandits as something on which we should fight each other. They have a tragedy which needs to be resolved, and said that government is treating Kashmiri Pandits like cannon fodder and bonded labor. The bonded labor which is supposed to come to Kashmir and get killed because government is not able to provide assurance that they'll be secure, as we have seen that not many Pandits have got killed in the last 2 years. Now, if any human being is asking that let them be shifted to safer location till the government creates that ecosystem of safety, what is wrong in that? And why should they be kept without salary? No, sir, let's not fight over this. Let's resolve that. Why should Kashmiri Pandits be kept without salary? And why should they be dragged to death trap in Kashmir when government is not failing, when government is not able to provide them security? It is responsibility of the government to give them their salaries and to ensure their safe posting in some safe location, not necessarily in a death trap like Kashmir, where government is failing to.
Majid Hadri, there is a flip in your camera. It needs to be fixed. Let it be fixed. Till then, I go to Mr. GL Raina. GL Raina, I thought Mehbooba was not being very innocent when she said, okay, fine, if the Kashmiri Pandits are feeling unsafe, as if it's because of their own volition, they should be sent to Jammu for a while. But you know, Majid Hadri is adding to it. He's saying you can't use them as cannon fodder and you can't be using them as bonded labor. If they want to go to Jammu, let them go. You think this is as simple as that? That the Kashmiri Pandits protesting because they are unsafe? Of course, genuinely, because many of them have been targeted. They should be sent back to Jammu. It's a catch-22 situation for the J&K administration. And you being in the BJP perhaps would have some understanding of where this thing really sits.
First thing is that both Majid Hadri Saab and Mehbooba Mufti ji are definitely not that innocent as they try to sound. Had they been that innocent and honest, they would first tell us that they have stopped blaming Jagmohan for the plight of Pandits, Exodus and all that, what happened in 1990s. Second, Mehbooba Mufti was member parliament for 2 terms. Did she ever ask, just a question, I am not saying when she was in the driving seat in Jammu and Kashmir, did she ever try to ask even one simple question about the displaced community? We were in problems even at that time. We were in pain even at that time. And then she is on record in saying, one of the meetings conducted by ORF, that if we give them some facilities in Jammu, they will not return to Kashmir. This is Mehbooba Mufti, and we know the role, this family's role in 1986, what they did in Anantnag. So when they try to show some sympathy towards Kashmiri Pandit, it is laughable, and it is simply trying to politicize the issue and gain some brownie points. This is besides the fact that yes, there is a problem.
But you are also in a catch-22 situation, Mr. Raina. You would admit that you are also in a catch-22 situation. After all, Kashmiri Pandits happen to be your constituency.
Absolutely not, because if you have heard the president of the Jammu and Kashmir unit, our union minister in the union cabinet, Dr. Jitendra Singh, we have been categoric in that saving lives is first priority, and releasing salary is as important as that. Okay. Because even when a person is suspended, a regular employee is suspended, they are being paid sustenance allowance. Party has no ambiguity. No, there is no catch-22 situation for the party. Yes, we are trying to plead with the administration.
Okay, Mr. Raina of the BJP says that there is an element of politicization and it's not as innocent as Mehbooba Mufti is making it sound, and that the BJP is not in a catch-22 situation. But, Lalit Ambardar, is there, if Mehbooba really wants Pandits to be in the valley, and this is only going to be a stopgap as she suggests, has she really, or her followers, her cadres and her core constituency, have they really worked as a civil society to really take care of this feeling of unsafety within the Kashmiri Pandit community? I mean, these OGWs, for example, euphemistically called overground workers, essentially terror sympathizers. What has Mehbooba Mufti and her cadres and her party and constituency done about them to make sure that the number of OGWs really goes down or vanishes from the valley?
Listen, genocide is not mere physical extermination. Genocide also involves many other aspects. And genocide does not happen overnight. There's one aspect, there's short of time, I can't give you every detail, but one is to have a trial assault on the targeted community. And this happened in 1986, when the bastion of Mufti's political power, South Kashmir, Kashmiri Hindus were targeted, their temples were destroyed, their properties were destroyed. Yes, but India chose silence. They tried the patience of rest of India, rest of Hindus in rest of India. Nobody rose to the occasion. And that's when 1989 arrived, and that was a final assault on Kashmiri Hindus. And who was the Home Minister of India at that time? The India's first Muslim Home Minister. He released dreaded jihadists in exchange of his daughter. The safety of his daughter was a priority, which also jihadists claimed later on that this was all part of the scheme. They wanted to have their guys released because they thought she was our sister. We wouldn't have done any harm to her. Everybody knew about it. And this man chose to be
while that's an important historical perspective, let's stick to the debate of the day. I'm trying to find out. Let me go to Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz. We'll continue. Lalit, hold on. We'll continue. We'll continue this conversation.
No, this
We
is
still have some time.
Let me complete.
Let me go to Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz. In fact, I should have asked this
background,
question to Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz, representing the Muslim Personal Law Board in Jammu and Kashmir, and also, of course, a political analyst. He's live with us. Mr. Ayaz, I should be asking this question to you. Is it not the responsibility of the civil society in Kashmir to take care of the Kashmiri Pandits, a handful of them who are left? On fingertips you can count them. And yet we have a situation where a senior leader of the valley, someone who has been chief minister of the state when it used to be the state, she has to say, okay, fine, please take them till the time. Obviously, she is playing politics. She wants to suggest once the Kashmiri Pandits or whatever remains of them leaves the valley, oh, see, I told you it's not normal, and you are pushing a normality narrative at the cost of Kashmiri Pandits. Obviously, Mehbooba is not being very honest and innocent.
This is a responsibility of everybody, but as long as the Kashmiri Muslim society is concerned, their options are very limited. It's not a political issue. It can't be politicalized. It's a humanitarian issue and need to be given that constitution. If Mehbooba Mufti has said that there need to be a
Mr. Ayaz,
constitution
give me a straight answer. Is it not the responsibility of the civil society, for God's sake?
No, that's what I'm telling you. It is a responsibility of everybody. But as long as the responsibility of the civil society towards this issue in Kashmir is concerned, their options are very limited because it is standing against the gun, which hardly anybody will dare to do. So that's what I'm telling you. People being unarmed,
why are they limited? Why are they limited? Majid Hydari, if it is everybody's responsibility, why is Mehbooba Mufti almost behaving as if, oh, it's the state's responsibility, please take care of them. We are nobody because there is terror in the valley, please take them out. She is not owning up the responsibility, and if she as a leader is not owning up the responsibility, obviously who else would in the society?
Let's talk law. Let's talk logic here. It's not the responsibility of civil society to ensure security and safety of Kashmiri Pandits. It's supposed to be done by the government and only government through its security forces. If the government can bring 1.6 crore tourists to Kashmir and ensure their security,
at least you are being honest.
About 4 lakh
at least you are being honest.
The Kashmiris. You can reopen cinema
Mr. Rana,
Mr. Rana, security of
Majid Hydari is very clear, as also Mehbooba Mufti, of course, though not as upfront as Majid Hydari, that this is the responsibility of the government. It's for the government to decide what to do with the Kashmiri Pandits. The valley is going to remain like this. If they are in fear, if they are being killed, we can't do anything about it. Mr. Rana, you think this is the right line to take in the situation that we are when almost a dozen odd Kashmiri Pandits have been targeted and killed in the last 1 year almost now?
That it is primarily the responsibility of the government. There is no doubt about it. But they cannot wash their hands off the responsibility they owe. Had they been in an iota of honesty, they would have gone to those minority pockets and assured them that we are not as helpless as they were in 1990, as they claimed to be helpless in 1990s. They would have assured them, no, we will ensure your safety today. They will have ensured that those who identify these targets, we will not allow them to identify who are those persons who identify these soft targets. He is someone living there in their neighborhood.
Cannot ensure safety of Kashmiri Pandits. We are not here from Flavri today. This is a serious issue. It needs serious efforts from government. Not any mushaira over Kashmiri Pandits, please. We can't do any mushaira over the safety and security of Kashmiri Pandits. It has to be ensured by government.
But civil society, then do not claim that moral high ground. Why are you claiming that moral high ground that we will protect you from here and part of this? Even the agenda.
Hold on, I'll come to you. Let Mr. Rana complete his point. I can get both of you. Viewers won't be getting both of you. Majid Hydari, just let's follow the order. I gave you the opening comments. Majid Hydari, hold on, I'll come to each one of you. I'm trying to be very balanced. Let Mr. Rana complete. You will get your opportunity to respond. Mr. Rana, quickly complete.
I am saying there is, yes, primarily this is the responsibility of the government, but civil society and Kashmir-centric politicians cannot wash their hands off. They are blaming sometimes a movie, sometimes someone else, sometimes Jagmohan for all what is happening in Kashmir. In the 1990s, they were saying that we were helpless. We could not stop them leaving. What is stopping them today? Why are not going? They going to those pockets where minority community live?
I want.
And why are not able to identify
Yes.
the people who?
Yes, I want
soft
both
target?
Lalit Ambardar. I want both Lalit Ambardar and Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz. You know, one on one. Lalit Ambardar and Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz. First to Lalit Ambardar. Lalit Ambardar, Mr. Rana says primarily this is the responsibility of the government, but civil society also has a role. While Majid Hadri is very clear, civil society hands off, we have no role. You know,
Sir,
you as
where
victims,
is the civil society
Kashmiri
in Kashmir?
Pandits as victims, you know, fall between two stools. You have nobody backing you. Now, what's going on in your mind on this? The government says nothing doing. There is nothing called free lunch. Nobody can be given salary unless you are working. And since your posting is in the valley, you better be there.
Please,
And Majid Hadri says, we are not responsible for what happens to you. If Pakistanis are sending those terrorists, if these terrorists are killing you, if civil society is supporting them, we have no responsibility.
Sir, where is the civil society in Kashmir? When we suffered genocidal assault in 1990, civil society, the whole Kashmir was either in the mosques or in the streets shouting slogans, "Yahan kya chalega, Nizam-e-Mustafa, Kashmir mein rehna hoga, Allah Akbar kehna hoga." They did not choose silence. They took the side. They took the side of our neighbors. They closed their doors and windows on us.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a very sharp question. That's a very sharp question. Let it be responded to by Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz. You know, Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz, where is the civil society in Kashmir? Is there civil society that exists which can say, oh, these boys are wrong, we'll take care of them. These OGWs, these young terrorists who are picking up gun, hybrid terrorists who are melding into the crowd after carrying out these kind of crimes, of course, masterminded from across the border. Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz, where is the civil society in Kashmir? Lalit Ambardar, hold on, you made a sharp question. Let Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz respond to that.
You see, as I said, that civil society has a very limited role just because it's an armed struggle. It's not an unarmed struggle where civil society can play a role. It's an armed struggle between militants and the security forces. So where does the civil society come in?
Lalit, hold on. Lalit, I have requested you, hold on. You have asked a very sharp question and it needs an answer. It's a very important question. It needs an answer. Both Ghulam Ahmad Ayaz and Majid Hadri have to respond. Majid Hadri has washed his hands off. So let me ask this to Mr. Ayaz. Mr. Ayaz, responsibly speaking, it's a very sharp, simple, short, straight question which Lalit Ambardar has asked, and that is no, Qayyum, you have to do something about Lalit Ambardar. He has to listen to me.
Let him hold for a while.
He has to listen to me.
See, this is a responsibility.
Mr. Ayaz, no, I want Mr. Ayaz. Mr. Ayaz, you know, it's a short, straight, simple question that Lalit Ambardar asks. Where is civil society in Kashmir? Please respond.
See, as I told you, that's an armed struggle between militants and the security forces. So it's an armed struggle. Where is the civil society? Where's the role of security society? It is basically the security forces which have to deal with the situation, and they have been doing it unabated. Let me tell you, without any any relaxation anyone. It can't be said that they have not been doing. They are doing it. But the question is, where are the policies of the government to tackle with the situation that I believe is failing? Otherwise, I don't think Kashmiri Pandits would have been settled off. Despite having been working here for last so many years, they are again off, and there is no respite to them. They need a consideration, which also we have a consideration. We also feel they need a consideration. But as long as the role of the civil society is concerned, their role is very limited. Their options are very limited because they can't.
Oh, no. I don't think so. Mr. Ayaz, you know, let's be a little more honest than we are being. Just today, a huge cache of arms.
This is not the end of
Tell me, where's the roles? Where's the
No. Lalit Ambardar is actually making an important point, but I'll come to. You have made your point, Ayaz. Mr. Ayaz, let me take this forward. Lalit is not getting my voice. That's the problem. Otherwise, I could have had a little more structured, more constructive debate. But, you know, both, to all my panelists, in fact, today only, there was a huge cache of arms seized by the security forces from Baramulla. I was looking at those pictures and I was really disturbed at the amount and number of guns, grenades, rifles that have been recovered. Obviously, those have been pushed from across the border. But Majid Hydari, ultimately these will go into the hands of some people who have families there in the valley, who have a support system in the valley. My question is, it is because of that support system that youngsters go rogue. It is because of that support system that Pakistan is able to brainwash an entire generation and generations in fact now. Look at the pictures. Yeah, these are the pictures I was talking about. Majid Hydari, when was the last time Mehbooba said, I request Pakistan not to send these weapons in the hands of Valley's youngsters? Then Kashmiri Pandits would be safe, not by sending them to Jammu.
No, instead of using terms like who is bringing weapons and where's the ecosystem and the support system, let's say that government is failing.
When was the last time Mehbooba said these weapons should not be sent by Pakistan?
Mehbooba Mufti Sahiba is not in power. She is herself struggling for her own security. She has been thrown out of her secure house. She is herself struggling. So she cannot ensure anybody's security. In fact, no Kashmiri is able to safeguard his own security. So how can they assure
as a responsible leader, a former chief minister, when was the last time? I don't remember. When was the last time Mehbooba Mufti said that Pakistan should not be sending weapons in the hands of Kashmiri youngsters?
Kashmiri Muslims
how are these weapons reaching our country? That is my concern.
Have you ever raised the slogan against Pakistan? Has Majid Hydari ever spoken Pakistan Murdabad? No. Pakistan se rishta kya la ilaha illallah. Hindus are being used as guinea pig. Please understand, Kashmir Jihad is a military problem. It's a civilizational war. They don't want you there. They don't want you there. You are pushing us back as if we are bloody sheep. पहले पुरानी सरकारें करती रही थी, अभी भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर रही है. And this governor, this loud mouth, he's a motor mouth. He says, who is he addressing? The survivors of genocide. And you are addressing the collaborators security to the survivors of genocide.
Please.
The rapists, murders and mass murderers are roaming free in Kashmir. Don't forget. All the protagonists of Kashmir Jihad are roaming free. Not one.
Lalit Ambardar, I asked an important question. It's getting lost. It's getting lost in the. No. Lalit Ambardar, can you hold on? I was asking an important question and it is getting lost. Can you help me? It is getting lost in the din. It is getting lost in the din. Majid Hydari, Majid Hydari and Mr. Ayaz, on the issue of civil society, Majid Hydari washes his hands off. But Mr. Ayaz says that maybe there is a limited role. But I don't see that happening at a scale that it should happen in the valley if the intent of Mehbooba Mufti is right, And on the issue, on the more important issue of Mehbooba Mufti, I don't recall Mr. Ayaz even once in the last few years that Mehbooba Mufti has unequivocally said that Pakistan should stop supporting terrorism in the valley. He would say, oh, please talk to them. Oh, please, we can't have this situation in the valley without talking to Pakistan or not talking to Pakistan. Please, for God's sake, take a position. Have the courage to take a position and say, Pakistan, stop interfering in Kashmir and we will sort out the issue of safety of Kashmiri Pandits. Mr. Ayaz.
You are chasing Mirage. Pakistan se rishta ka inka la ilaha illallah ka hai.
No, hold on a while, let me respond.
Not even jihadists.
Let me respond to the point what was raised. See, point is, it looks as if Mehbooba Mufti or anybody else from here must have told Pakistan to sponsor people from there or send people from there. And today somebody will tell them to stop, they will stop. So that's not the question. If that you take that as issue question, then you
last word.
So point is how will Mehbooba Mufti say, or how will Pakistan accept Mehbooba Mufti saying, or somebody saying who is not at all wanting Pakistan to send the military? How will they accept it? Because they have an issue of their own. How can they accept somebody is telling them not to send the military?
No, I think, Mr. Ayaz, you are deflecting. Mr. Ayaz, you are deflecting. I was saying a moral position. I was saying it's not about whether Mehbooba Mufti can really influence Pakistan's actions, but it's about a moral position that Mehbooba Mufti can take, and that is that Pakistan stop interfering in the valley. We'll take care of Kashmiri Pandits. Then she would have commanded moral authority. My last word to Mr. Rana. Mr. Rana, please tell me, You are denying that you are in a catch-22 situation. But then what would you do of these Kashmiri Pandits who have genuine fears about their safety? The LG can say, okay, fine, as per the rules, if you're not working, you're not going to get salary, but something needs to be done. Quickly, if you can tell us, what's your mind on that?
Yeah, we have already told it, not only LG and administration in UT Jammu Kashmir, we are also contacting Home Ministry to ensure that their salary is paid. But I wanted to comment on the one point that civil society has limited options. You see the people, most of these employees are in rented accommodation. Those house owners are telling them to vacate their houses. These people could have gone there and ensured that no, they will not feel any problem on that front. Civil society, whatsoever of it has remained in Kashmir, is not working. They are in fact in silence. They are actually
okay, I understand that. On that note, I have to bring this conversation to an end. You know, the government obviously, despite the denial from the BJP and Mr. Rana, the government seems to be in a catch-22 situation, because if they agree with the protesting Kashmiri Pandits and bring them out of the valley in Jammu, then the whole narrative of normalcy in the valley really comes undone. And Mehbooba, the canny politician that she is, she understands that, and that's why perhaps she's trying to kill two birds with a single stone. Obviously, the government would need to find a little more nuanced answer than what the J&K administration has done till now. On that note, thank you so much for joining us this Saturday evening. A short break on the other side. Live and breaking back at 10 p.m.
11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
What's with all these attacks happening in Pakistan every single day? Multiple attacks. What's happening in China? China is getting a hammering and a battering of a lifetime. What did China do wrong? After all, so many Indians were saying that, China is such a perfect society. They are vaccinating 14 million people in a day. Let that sink in. But I think India did a far, far better job. We suffered. Of course, many Indians died. But today, India is a strong